The lesson tonight is done facing the cross because it is entirely about Him, and I want you to reflect upon Him rather than looking at me. I want you to look at Him. Here are the scriptures for tonight. I did not come to condemn the world, but to save the world. Whoever rejects me and does not accept my words has something to judge him, the word that I spoke. I did not speak on my own, but the Father who sent me commanded me what to say and speak. So what I say as the Father told me. How, in what ways do people reject the word of the Lord Jesus today? What are some of the ways you can think of that they do this? I'm not going to give you any lists or prompts here, and I'm going to pause for a bit to allow you to think. Rejection is in the acts that I speak of so often. Using the Lord's name or association with Him, for instance, saying you are a person of faith, to gain a personal, financial, or professional career advantage. This is claiming to belong to the same church as the boss, for instance, so that you can get the promotion. But you went just that one time so the boss could see you. But you haven't been back since, and that isn't even close to what your faith is. It is using religion in politics, either to get elected and then doing the opposite of what you said on the street. You can't claim to be a Christian and then, come on, say it with me, turn around and violate Matthew 25:35-46 at every opportunity, by cutting all funding for the food for the poor, housing, healthcare, and even basic nutrition for infants and nursing mothers. All just to increase the income of the wealthiest 3% of the world's population, all of whom live in the United States. The top 3% live in the United States, 4, 5, and 6% live in Saudi Arabia, live in the United Arab Emirates, live in Iran, and in the Middle East. But 1, 2, and 3 live exclusively in the United States. But this claiming to be Christian and then violating that isn't doing as you promised when you begged that vote. That is violating and rejecting Christ. Finally, most importantly, false prophets who pretend to be ministers. This is discussed in every one of the Gospels, and most recently in this past Sunday's Gospel. The Christ even spoke of this when He said, "All who come in not by the gate are thieves and robbers. I am the gate. All who came before me were thieves and robbers, trying to steal the sheep away. You are the sheep, you and your money." The false prophets care nothing for or about your soul. They couldn't give a damn about anything other than the money, the filthy lucre, the more than 30 pieces of silver each of you is worth, for as long as they can milk it from you. This is the Joel Osteens, who earned $17.5 million in tax-free 2018, but their churches gave $1.45 million in donations or in kind to the poor. The Jesse Duplantises, who now personally own not his church, but he personally owns 3 private jets, each in value of over $15 million, 4 multi-million-dollar homes, 4 sport cars, each in value of over $175,000, 2 $75,000 stretch limos, and has received $14.75 million in tax-free income. But the church only gave $2.1 million in donations to the poor in 2018. And his congregation cheered when they saw a video of his personal security beating up a female investigative journalist. No Christians in that church. And then the Kenneth Copelands, who also personally owns all of the planes, cars, and real estate. The church only owns the church. Copeland purchased a brand new $20 million jet to go to and from his vacation homes. His 5-year-old and 8-year-old jets were looking shabby, he said, though he had had both refurbished for $1.75 million of the church funds. His 7,500 square foot Colorado mountain cabin with 9 bedrooms and 7 baths, indoor and outdoor pool, valued at $12.5 million, is just one of his 3 vacation cabins or cottages. His church estate, the house that he lives in for the church, right by the church, is valued at over $15 million. His church didn't give anything to the poor in 2018. All of this income, all of this real estate, all of these jets are personally owned, tax-free. This is rejection of Jesus Christ, and they will pay throughout eternity. But I pray the right and just arm of God in the United States, called the Internal Revenue Service, brings justice a bit sooner. The other massive rejection, which can be written about succinctly, is hate. All those who discriminate against any individual, couple, or group are rejecting all that is Jesus. And these usually are hand in glove with those above, who are false prophets, for they aren't preaching about the love of Jesus when they have signs seen at the church of the evangelist, that is Jesse Duplantis. We only allow good folk here. No fags, kikes, niggers, Jews, or wetbacks may enter. We have guns to encourage your cooperation. That is the actual sign outside of his church. Need another sign outside of that establishment. Church of Satan. Rejection is not the momentary failure or sin of your mind that each of us suffers when we either in our mind or allow fail to be kind or are judgmental of another's behavior or dress, etc. That is human. Work on it. Narrow it exclusively to the actors in your TV show. They aren't real, they are characters. So you can work your vex on the characters. Sin is normal. In Judaism, sin is expected. To say you are sinless is a violation of one of the 613 Mosaic laws, putting yourself on par with God. So relax. Work to be good. Don't work to be sin-free. And do one thing to fully accept Christ in your heart, brain, and love and life. Love one another as I love you.